Good day, Transformer fans. This is X-Aaron broadcasting to you from the outer reaches. Back once again for another Transformers review. Today I submit for your approval my review of Transformers Masterpiece Grimlock. Grimlock is the fourth figure to be released in the Masterpiece line in North America, following 20th Anniversary Optimus Prime, Starscream, and Skywarp. This figure is the third in the line to be a store exclusive. While Masterpiece Starscream and Masterpiece Skywarp were Walmart exclusives, this one can be found only at Toys R Us, or on eBay for an inflated price. Masterpiece Grimlock comes in this oddly shaped box, though, to be fair, it's shaped that way to accommodate the figure. Grimlock comes packaged in his alternate mode, and the packaging does its best to hold the figure without looking too quirky. As I said, Grimlock comes packaged in his alternate mode, that of a T-Rex, and this makes me happy. More and more Transformers figures these days are coming packed in robot mode, and to see Grimlock packed in his alternate mode is somewhat of a rarity. So far, he's the only US release in the Masterpiece line to come packed that way, and it's a trend I don't like. I'd much rather have a figure in its alternate mode right out of the package. That way, I can discover the robot mode on my own. Well, let's get to the figure before this turns into a rant about Hasbro's packaging choices. Grimlock, in his T-Rex mode, is all kinds of awesome. He remains faithful to his G1 appearance, and yet is light years beyond the G1 figure. In this mode, Grimlock is primarily gray with chromed silver and gold in all the right spots. He has scary pointy teeth, a segmented tail, and sharp fingers on the ends of his stubby little T-Rex arms. There are no real visible robot parts in this mode. No hands, legs, and most importantly, no visible robot head. Posability in this mode is excellent due to all the great articulation this figure has. Grimlock has hinges and ball joints and ratcheting joints, giving him full range of motion in his arms and legs. The mouth on the dinosaur head even opens and closes, revealing a hidden flamethrower, non-working of course. A wide variety of movement is possible, including standing Grimlock in his G1 cartoon stance, or posing him leaning forward, which is more scientifically accurate. Well, as scientifically accurate as a mechanical Tyrannosaurus Rex that changes into a robot can be, I suppose. The tail, as stated before, is segmented, allowing it to move side to side. This plays into one of his gimmicks, which I'll touch on in a moment. Grimlock has a few gimmicks in this mode. First up, jaw-snapping action. That's right, if you open up his mouth and press his cheek, the mouth snaps shut, because it's too much trouble to just close it yourself, I guess. Also, you can switch his eyes from red to blue by opening up the T-Rex head and rotating the base that the eyes sit on. This allows you to make Grimlock either more G1 toy accurate or more G1 cartoon accurate, whichever you prefer. My preference is for the red eyes, not so much because I like toy accuracy, but rather because I like the red eyes better. Now, his only other gimmick in this mode is if you swing his tail back and forth, it causes his head to turn from side to side. You know, in case you want your Masterpiece Grimlock to be able to throw a fit. Before I take him into robot mode, I'd just like to point out that I am only showing a quick conversion from T-Rex to robot, and I'm not transforming him on camera. There are plenty of YouTube videos that show his detailed transformation, and I feel no need to present it in my reviews. Sorry. Okay then, onto robot mode. Start, change, 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 finish. Or, if you prefer... Before I get into the details here, I want to add that the transformation of this figure is very reminiscent of the G1 Grimlock figure, and at the same time more complex, almost like it's an updated and upscaled version of the original mold. In robot mode, Grimlock again remains faithful to his G1 appearance. Color-wise, everything visible in T-Rex mode is visible here as well. Added is a bit of black here and there, head, hands, and upper legs mostly, and red in the torso. but this is definitely G1 Grimlock in all his glory. He is even more articulate in this mode. His ball joints, ratcheting joints, and hinges allow him a variety of different poses. His arms and legs have full range of motion, and his head and feet can be posed as well. His hands, though, are a little different. His left hand has articulation similar to other Masterpiece figures, with separately moving thumb and forefinger, but still not as articulate as the Optimus or Starscream mold. Unfortunately, his right hand is molded solidly into a fist, with the only articulation coming from the thumb. This is due to a gimmick, which I'll touch on in a bit. The US release Masterpiece Grimlock comes with 3 accessories, all of which are used in his robot mode. First is a blaster, which can fit in either hand, but works with the gimmick in his right hand. Same can be said about the second accessory, the sword. More on both of those later. Grimlock's third and final accessory is his Dinobot Crown of Leadership. This accessory is in reference to the Marvel G1 comics. After the death of Optimus Prime in the comics, Grimlock is elected Autobot leader by his peers. Of course, his new role goes to his head, literally, and he starts wearing the crown. Now, Grimlock has 2 gimmicks in this mode. The first is similar to one of his T-Rex mode gimmicks. You can change the robot mode's eyes from red to blue, this time via a simple switch at the back of Grimlock's head. It's nice and unintrusive, and unlike the T-Rex mode, I prefer the blue to the red in this mode, but not necessarily because it's more cartoon accurate. His second gimmick, if you couldn't guess by now, involves his inarticulate right fist. Place his blaster or sword in the right hand, then press a button located at the back of the right arm up at the shoulder. This causes the sword or blaster to light up. It's a pretty neat effect, but unfortunately this effect only lasts while you're pressing the button. Once you let go, the light shuts off. It's too bad they couldn't have made it where pressing the button once causes the light to stay on for several seconds, but this is a minor quibble at best. The gimmicks on this figure are decent enough and don't get in the way, at least for the most part. They range in effectiveness from the ever-popular light-up hand to the head-scratchingly odd jaw-snapping action. One item of note is the fact that the electronics for the light-up gimmick are contained entirely in Grimlock's right arm, and as such, they don't hinder the articulation in the least. This feature is much appreciated. Now, there are a few negatives, such as the aforementioned right hand. It's a pity that there was no workaround to allow for the fingers to be as articulate as the ones on his left, while still being able to keep the light-up feature. Truthfully, I'm not sure whether I'd prefer the gimmick or better articulation. The only other negative I want to touch on here concerns his robot mode Autobot symbol. Grimlock was designed to have the symbol hidden in T-Rex mode and revealed during transformation. It's supposed to slide up into a similarly shaped hole in what will become the robot's chest. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite slide all the way up and into the slot. At least, not on my figure. I don't know if this issue is widespread, or if I just happened to get one that slipped past Hasbro's quality control. Regardless, the positives in this figure far outweigh these negatives. Okay, now onto the tech specs. Grimlock receives a 9 for both his alternate mode and his robot mode. Both modes are fun, posable, and immeasurably faithful to his G1 character. Transformation gets a 9 for being challenging without being needlessly complex. Articulation gets an 8.5 because, while the majority of the figure has excellent posability, still that molded right hand for the sake of a gimmick is a tough sell. Grimlock's gimmicks receive a 7.5. Even though most don't get in the way, there are a couple that make me wonder just why they were included in the first place. Total is an 8.6. Highly recommended. Rarely does a figure of this quality come along, and though he has his faults, they are niggling at best. Okay, so, overall, this is one fantastic figure, worth every penny to get him into your collection if you can. Both alt and robot modes are appealing, very posable, and very faithful to Grimlock's G1 incarnation. Colors are what I expected, chrome is great, and there are even some die-cast metal bits to add a little weight to him. Kudos to Hasbro for releasing this figure in the US. Run, don't walk, to your nearest Toys R Us and demand they stock this item. And now you know, and knowing is half the battle. This has been X Aaron, broadcasting to you from the outer reaches. Thank you for your time. Good morning, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.